In clearance sale, Mastriani's is your hit.
Sunday.
All right, Mike, let's keep talking money here. Okay, the people of Greece went to the ballot box. They voted in a government that needs, with help, someone who's favoring the Eurozone.
Yep.
Steve Budin's here to tell us if that's going to help or hurt and if it's had any effect today.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that there was really no reaction. It was a big ho-hum from the markets, which is not necessarily the best news because I was expecting the markets to really react. But I think when you look back, there's just so much work to be done here, and now you have this G20 meeting coming this week, and you're hearing the politicians begin to spin some of these results. But at the end of the day, the Greeks still have 3 days to form a government, and apparently the opposition party is not willing to play along. So I don't know what happens after Thursday, and then we'll see how the markets react. But I was kind of surprised that the market didn't kind of have a relief rally, which is a little bit of a disappointment. Interest rates on the foreign bonds are going up, and I always say watch the bond markets to see how they react. They're not reacting very well right now.
You know, the G20, there are times when something comes out of it, but generally there's not a lot getting done. They're talking about this thing in Greece, but will that have any effect on the markets one way or the other?
I think they know the end game here. Greece is going to have to default on these loans.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of if it's a month, a year, 2 years. They know the end game here, and it's like they're all sitting in this room and they know what they have to do. Nobody's willing to do it. So the markets are not surprised by this at all.
Housing market, the local housing market, there has been some building of new homes, but generally what's the trend?
The trend is kind of flat. You know, I put this up here. The job report came out. The jobs are doing okay, but they're not doing well enough to give the home builders more confidence to build more houses. But I will say, because I am looking for a house myself, that the markets really are flat. They're not really getting worse, which is actually not too bad at this point.
We'll have breaking news, not so breaking news. There are a lot of homes available there.
There are a lot of homes available.
Something.
Yes.
What's up with India?
India, I bring this one up. Last week we talked real quick about China. Today, the Indian central bank declined to lower interest rates to boost their economy because of the inflation fears. But I bring India up because them and China are leading the economic growth around the world. Their growth rate has slowed fairly significantly, so it's something to keep an eye on. But the Indian government is in a bind too. They can't lower interest rates. They're afraid of the high inflation that's been going on.
All right, we've talked for the last week or so about a fiscal cliff. Are we on the verge of falling off a fiscal cliff?
Well, I bring this one up because we were going to talk about it last week, and now the ads are showing on TV. Both parties are now hitting Nevada real hard with all of the ads, Obama, Romney. Chief Bernanke coined this term at the congressional hearings last week, where we have, on December 31st, a lot of forces coming together here. The Bush tax cuts expire, the payroll tax, Social Security tax cut expires, and the spending programs that were put into place because of that super committee expire, and you'd have some severe spending cuts. All of this coincides on December 31st, and not one person is talking about what's the solution. And from what I'm reading and hearing, nothing's going to happen until Election Day, so that's 6 months of nothing. And the stakes are too high here for them to do nothing. And it's an abomination, actually.
And then after Election Day, we're dealing with a partially lame duck Congress.
That's right.
Which may or may not act. Some guys will strike a blow for liberty on their way out. Some will just say, forget it, I'm going golfing.
Yeah, and more of them will probably go golfing. I think you'll have a situation where until they absolutely have to act, which could be before the new Congress is seated or the new president is seated, but this is an embarrassment. I mean, there's nothing getting done, and there's 6 months. I mean, there's a lot of people who are hurting out there, and I hear it and I read it all the time from emails I get, and these guys just sit and do nothing.
We'll stay up to speed on that one. Thank you, Steve. And we'll be right back.